The last thing my mother ever said to me wasn't, "I love you." It was, "You've ruined this family." She didn't scream it. She whispered it, and the cold finality in that whisper was sharper than any knife. For telling the truth, I became an orphan. With living parents, cast out because I uncovered a secret that was never mine to keep. Before my world imploded, it was, by all accounts, perfect. We were the family people envied. My dad, Mark, was my hero, the kind of father who taught me how to change a tire and grill the perfect steak. He was a pillar of our community, a man everyone looked up to. My mom, Helen, was my best friend. We'd spend hours talking, sharing everything from silly gossip to my deepest fears. I was their only child, the supposed center of their universe. That we had Sunday dinners without fail, summer vacations at the lake, and a home that was always filled with laughter. It was a life built on a foundation I thought was solid rock. Why? Would I ever question it? I had no reason to. That trust was absolute. It was the kind of blind faith a kid has in their parents, the kind that makes the world feel safe. My whole identity was tied to being their son, a part of this perfect little unit. I couldn't imagine a world where my dad wasn't the good guy or where my mom's love had conditions. The memories of those years are tainted now, like old photos left out in the sun. They represent a life I once had, a family I once belonged to. Before I stumbled upon a truth that would cost me everything. It happened on a Tuesday. It's funny, the mundane details you remember right before your life falls apart. I was home from college for the weekend, trying to grind out a term paper. My laptop died, and my dad, ever the hero, offered his. "Just don't mess with my work files," he joked, ruffling my hair as he handed it over. I was deep into my research when a notification popped up in the corner of the screen. It was a message from a woman I'd never seen before. The preview was short, but it was more than enough. "Can't stop thinking about last night. You." My blood ran cold. My first instinct was just, no. It had to be spam, a mistake, anything else. My fingers were trembling as they moved the cursor. I told myself I shouldn't look, that it was a total invasion of his privacy. But a deeper, gut-wrenching instinct took over, the need to know. I opened the messaging app. And there it was. Not just one message, but months of them. A whole secret life, laid out in plain text. There were photos, inside jokes, plans for secret meetups. The words just blurred together. Betrayal is a strange, hollow feeling. It's this sudden, violent loss of trust that shatters how you see someone. Every message I read was another crack in the foundation of my world. This wasn't my father. My father was the man who held my mom's hand during movies, the man who told me honesty was the most important thing in the world. This guy in the messages? He was a stranger. A liar. The shock was a physical blow. I couldn't breathe. I just sat there for what felt like hours, the screen's glow lighting up the wreckage of my childhood. The truth wasn't just a secret, it was poison, and I had just swallowed the whole bottle. I confronted him that night. I waited until my mom was asleep and found him in his study. I couldn't even form a sentence. I just turned the laptop screen towards him. All the color drained from his face. For a long moment, there was just this thick, heavy silence, full of a shame and terror I had never, ever seen in his eyes. His first move was a weak denial, a pathetic attempt to grab at the lie that had just crumbled. But the proof was right there, glowing between us. Then, the anger came. "You had no right to go through my things," he hissed, his voice low and threatening. He was trying to flip it, to make me the bad guy. When the anger didn't work, the begging started. "You can't tell your mother," he pleaded, his composure completely gone. "It will destroy her. It will destroy this family. Please, son. For me." And just like that, the weight of his secret was on my shoulders. I spent the next 2 days in absolute torment, the secret eating me alive. Was he right? Was I about to be the one to burn our family to the ground? It's a horrible place to be. Stuck between a devastating truth and a comfortable lie, but I couldn't live with the lie. My mom deserved to know. I found her in the garden and I just told her. My voice was shaking as I laid out the ugly truth. Her reaction wasn't what I expected. There was no rage at my father, no immediate flood of tears. Just a chilling stillness. She looked right at me, her eyes vacant, and then this weird defensiveness crept in. She started asking me questions. How did I find out? Why was I looking through his things? It was like she was desperately searching for a way to discredit the information, to blame the messenger. In that moment, I watched her loyalty shift. To protect her own reality, she started to see me not as her son telling her a painful truth, but as the source of the pain itself. The final showdown happened a week later, in our living room. It was set up like a family intervention, except I was the one on trial. My dad had a full week to spin his story, and he'd done a damn good job. My mom sat right beside him on the sofa, a united front built on denial. Why Dad spoke first, his voice dripping with fake sincerity. He talked about a moment of weakness, a terrible mistake, but he framed it all as something they were working through, together. He painted me as reckless, the one who had violated his trust and thrown their home into chaos. Then my mother spoke, and her words are what truly broke me. We could have handled this privately, she said, her voice cold and measured. This was a marriage issue, and you made it a family crisis. You've brought so much shame on us. The blame was laid squarely at my feet. It wasn't his cheating that was the problem, it was that I had found out. I tried to defend myself. I tried to explain that I did it because I loved her, because I believed in the truth. They weren't listening. We need you to respect our decision to move past this, my dad said, his tone hardening. And we can't do that with this hanging over us. With you, looking at us this way. I had to ask. What does that mean? My mother delivered the final blow without even looking at me. It means, she said, that until you can understand the damage you've done and apologize for it, it's best if you don't come home anymore. Just like that. I was exiled. They chose the lie over their own son. I was officially disowned, not for a crime I committed, but for one I exposed. That was the moment my entire world just collapsed. It's a pain I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I'm curious if anyone else has been put in an impossible situation like this. Let me know your story in the comments below. The days and weeks that followed were just a blur. I went back to my tiny apartment near campus and waited for a call. That never came. The silence from them was deafening. My birthday passed. Holidays came and went. It was like I was a ghost to them. So much of who I was had been tied up in being their son. Without them, I felt completely lost. The rejection was this constant dull ache in my chest, a loneliness so profound it felt like another person in the room with me. The psychological toll was huge. Anxiety became my new best friend, and a deep, heavy depression settled in. I couldn't sleep, and when I did, I had nightmares. My trust in people was completely shattered. I mean, if the two people who were supposed to love you no matter what could throw you away that easily, how could you ever trust anyone again? I kept replaying it all in my head, wondering, did I do the right thing? The guilt was a heavy blanket. Even though I knew, deep down, that this wasn't my fault. I was grieving a family that was still alive, but had chosen to be dead to me. It's been 5 years. There was no big reunion, no tearful apology. I've heard through a cousin that they are still together, keeping up the appearance of a happy marriage for the world. They never changed their story. I was the one who ruined the family. The split is permanent, but the story doesn't end there, in that dark apartment. Losing everything forced me to rebuild my life from scratch, on my own terms. I finished college. And started seeing a therapist, which honestly saved me. Therapy gave me the tools to work through the grief and the betrayal, to understand that their reaction was about their own shame, not about my worth. As slowly, I built a new family. A chosen family, made up of close friends who have shown me what real, unconditional love looks like. Through all of this, I found a resilience I never knew I had. I learned how to set boundaries and to trust my own gut. The scar from being disowned will never completely fade, but it doesn't define me anymore. It's just a part of my story, a reminder of the high price you sometimes pay for honoring the truth. I lost the family I was born into, but in doing so, I found myself. I learned that my value isn't based on their approval, and that real peace doesn't come from protecting a lie, but from living your own truth, even if you have to do it alone. My story is a reminder that sometimes the hardest choices are the right ones, even when they cost you everything you thought you knew. If you resonated with this, please hit the like button and subscribe for more real-life stories. It took a long, long time, but I learned that you can't build your life on a foundation of secrets. You have to build it on truth, even if you have to lay the first stone all by yourself.